Yeah, hi guys, my name's Savannah. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I came out my mum's vagina. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Savannah's birth story debrief. I'm going to be talking about how my pregnancy went, how the labour went and how the birth went, and sharing some images and some videos with you along the way. One of the videos that I have is of me pushing her out, and it's really raw and it's video that I cherish so much. If you've come over from my Instagram page, then chances are you already know who I am and what I do, but if you are new, I'm going to give you guys a little introduction on myself, my business and my baby. My name is Tammy. I'm an activewear designer for pregnant and breastfeeding mums. My business is called The Milk Boutique, and I'm going to put a little link here for my Instagram page. When I was pregnant with my first daughter, Ruby, who is now 3, I just found this huge lack in the market of nursing friendly activewear, and I started designing it, and now it's like a full-on business. The link for the website will be down in the description box somewhere. If it's on IGTV, then I don't know, I'll put it somewhere. I have 2 daughters. I have a daughter named Ruby. She is 3. She was born in May of 2016. She is basically a clone of my partner. When she was born, everyone didn't think she was mine. She's dark eyes, and I am blonde hair, blue eyes. I also have a daughter named Savannah, and she's the one I'm going to be sharing the birth story on today. She was born 3.5 months ago, and she is my clone. It's amazing how we have one of each. When I started my business, I set it out to be a business, and it ended up being like this mummy blog page, and I share everything on my Instagram. So if you were following along with the journey with Savannah, I documented the whole pregnancy on my stories, and I ended up being 11 days overdue with her, and I had to be booked in for an induction. So I'm going to be sharing an induction type birth today and how I felt going overdue by 11 days. When my due date hit, I ended up getting a stretch and sweep done, and I was hoping that would kickstart labour. It didn't. I ended up going into the hospital on the 10th day of being overdue. So in Australia, I'm not sure whereabouts you're watching this, but in Australia, your due date is when you hit 40 weeks, and they usually let you go 15 days maximum. I'm pretty sure that's right. I ended up getting to the 10th day, and they had to book me in, and they had to talk to me about my options of induction and having like the balloon put in, having my waters broken and that sort of stuff. So when it hit the 10th day, I had tried so many things to bring on labor. I had acupuncture, I tried having sex, and that just, it was kind of half-assed try of sex. After waiting so long and absolutely nothing happening, we ended up going to the hospital on the 10th day at 6 p.m. The plan was that I would have to stay in overnight and get a balloon put in so that my cervix would open enough for them to go in and break my waters in the morning. So when I went to the hospital, I sort of had some sort of niggly pains, but nothing was really happening. When I went in, they sort of like hook you up to a machine, and they told me that they would monitor me for a little bit and see whether I was having any kind of contractions, and then work out the plan from there. My contractions, like I was having irregular contractions, and they could see that on the machine, but they still wanted to keep me in overnight, and I really sort of pushed for me to go home. I had gone into labour naturally with Ruby. I wanted the same thing to happen with Savannah. I ended up talking them into giving me another stretch and sweep so that I could go home, and they agreed to it. And this stretch and sweep was so much more painful than the one that I had at 40 weeks. I ended up having blood come out afterwards. I had immediate cramping straight away, and I knew it had stirred things up enough for something to start happening. So when I got home, I basically slept sitting up. I was determined to make her go down, and I remembered that I would like fall asleep for a couple of hours and then wake up in a panic and being like, oh, the contractions stopped, and they sort of paused for a little while, and then I'd sort of get up, walk around, go to the toilet, and then they'd start to come back a little bit. And at this point they only felt like mild sort of period pain, but yeah, each time I fell asleep they would disappear and just fade away to nothing until I woke up and started walking around again. So that carried on all night long until the morning, and we made our way back to the hospital at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was just hoping that I had dilated more overnight, considering that I had been in that pain for such a long amount of time. When I got back to the hospital, I got assessed again, and I was 4 centimeters dilated. So I was stoked. I was stoked that I got to 4 centimeters, considering with Ruby I had an epidural at 1.5 or 2 centimeters. I know, I'm a sook. They still wanted to break my waters, and I was a bit nervous because I just wanted things to happen on their own. I wanted my waters to break on their own, but I agreed to it, and we sort of did it. We had the hooky thing go up there, and it doesn't hurt, it just feels weird because you can feel the hook on the inside like clipping until they actually break it. So it's not like a pop, it's like a clip clip clip, and then you feel the gush come out. And it was all over the table, and from there, sorry, it's a motorbike. From there the contractions definitely kicked off, and so the waters were broken at about 9 o'clock in the morning, and then 2 hours later I asked for an epidural. So I had gone from 4 centimeters to 7 centimeters in 2 hours, so it did definitely speed things along. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I did not ask for the epidural, I screamed for the epidural. And the guy who comes out and administers the epis, his pager was broken and he was gone for the whole morning, and he found me by listening to me and hearing me scream out for him. And I'm putting that very calmly and honestly. Yeah, I got to 7, and I just don't think I could have gone any further than 7 centimeters. And I have no shame in asking for pain relief at all. Like I always say, what's the point in going into the dentist and getting a filling done and being like, I did it without pain? I appreciate people who can do that. You must feel so proud afterwards. But I am just trying to say that I have no shame in asking for the epidural. I did use the gas for a little bit, and I loved it. I thought the gas, I hated it with Ruby's birth. I thought I felt drunk and out of control. But with Savannah's birth, I just loved it. And I actually remember at one point, I could hear the midwives or the cleaners cleaning. They must have had a vacuum cleaner on, and I was laying there thinking, I didn't know I was at the hairdressers, and I was like so relaxed. When you have an epi done, they give you a little button and they give you the control, from my experience anyway, to keep topping up your epidural pain relief. And you can do it every like 15 minutes or half an hour. I'm pretty sure with Sav it was every 15 minutes. So for the next couple of hours I was just topping it up. They just keep coming in and checking your blood pressure. Sav did have the monitor on, so they had gone up when after they had broken my waters, they had put the little clip on her head. So they come in and just keep checking to make sure that baby's heart rate's all good, that you're okay. They come in, give you a bit of an ice test. So they hold a little bag of ice like onto your head, onto your shoulders, your arms, waist. And obviously if you can feel how cold it is, that means you're not numb in that area. And if you can not feel how cold it is, that means you're numb. So they just keep checking to see whereabouts you're numb and see whether you want to keep topping it up. It must have been around about 1:40 p.m. So it was after 7 hours of active labor. They told me it was time to start pushing Savannah out. They put my legs into the stirrups and we turned on the video camera. And you can see the rest.
baby. It's okay. Yep. Okay, I'll just give her a bit of a rub.
Nine to two.
Here we go, let me just right here a bit because she gets a bit cold on it.
You have to go around the neck.
Hey?
You have to go around the neck.
Well done. And now where's your sim? Is that his? Good pushing. Must have been just sitting there. Right, I'll just get some warm blankets.
Yeah, please, thank you. All right, Jason.
Nice warm
We did it. We did it. This is little Savannah.